Hey guys, it's your girl Katie here from Girl Bike Love. Today we're going to be reviewing the MYX II bike. Before we get started, don't forget to click that button and hit subscribe to our channel to stay in touch and learn about all of our great reviews. So let's go ahead and let's break into what makes this bike so unique. Now the MYX II offers a camera that's located in the monitor. This is something different than what's on the market today. This camera allows you to be seen in real time during live classes by the instructor where they can give you shout outs or even do form corrections to keep you safe. Another great feature of this bike is that it includes an upgraded tracker. The upgraded tracker is about 10% more accurate than other ones on the market. And finally, the friction resistance is what sets this bike apart. Most bikes coming out on the market include magnetic resistance. So this is going to feel like a more natural ride to something riding outside, something comparable to that. Now, this is the MYX II. Obviously, there was an MYX I, so what is the difference? This bike actually tracks your distance, your cadence, as well as your speed along with heart rate, to where compared to the MYX I original bike that only focused on heart rate. Also, the monitor has that camera. That was something that was also not included in the original model. All right, let's go ahead and get a little bit closer to the bike and talk about some of these features in greater detail. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start at the back of this bike and then we'll go ahead and move to the front. What I first want to talk about is the adjustability of the saddle. Now the saddle can go up and down as well as front and back. And as you can see, there is a slimmer profile of the saddle. This is what we call a competitive style saddle, in which it does have a little bit more narrow of a profile, but it allows for greater output during your pedal stroke. If you find that it can be uncomfortable, there's always things to help. You can add a gel seat, you can do padded shorts, or you can always check your bike setup or your riding position, because oftentimes it's not so much the bike seat, but how we're actually riding it, our riding form, that's causing that discomfort. Let's go ahead and move on down and talk about the pedals. Now the pedals offer dual-sided pedals. One side includes an SBD and the other side is a toe cage. Here's a little tip for you. If you're riding in your regular sneakers, make sure that the ribbon is through this bottom bracket. If it's only through this top one, when you go to pull against it when you're riding out of the saddle, this will loosen, your toe cage will loosen, and it won't make your pedal stroke as efficient. Now this bike does include a belt drive, which makes it so that this will actually require less maintenance compared to that of a chain drive. And here is the 41-pound flywheel that has the ability to increase inertia and make this ride incredibly smooth. For me personally, I always try to find bikes that have a higher weight on the flywheel because I find that it makes the ride a lot more smooth and natural compared to those lighter flywheels. Also, this bike does include friction resistance, which means it has pads on the inside of this component right here. That's going to go ahead and they're going to move closer or farther away from that flywheel in order to increase or decrease resistance. Since this bike has friction resistance, it'll be just slightly louder than that of a magnetic bike. So let's go ahead and listen to what this bike sounds like. I do have the resistance cranked pretty high. There is a slight whooshing sound, but that's about it. Friction resistance feels much more natural than magnetic resistance. So as soon as you turn the resistance knob, you are going to feel that resistance either increase or decrease compared to magnetic bikes, which take a little bit of time from the time the knob turns to where you actually feel the change. Now this bike also includes little rollers on the front. That makes it easy to move about your space just because this bike is weighing over a little bit over 100 pounds, so that does make it very helpful. Here is your resistance knob where you turn to the right to add resistance, turn to the left to take it off, and the handlebars. Now the handlebars are something else that I really do like. I find it to be very comfortable, and I also like that the water bottle holders are on top. For example, the water bottle holders are kind of underneath the handlebars on my Bowflex C6, which makes it kind of awkward when trying to grab it when riding. So this is my preference I found this bike to be very easy to grab your water whenever, whenever those instructors that I was following were making me earn it. So it's a great setup for hand positions and great comfort. The handlebars also do move front and back, as well as up and down. But one problem, not really a problem, but if you're a shorter rider, this is as far back as it comes, so it only comes back to neutral. So riders that are a little bit shorter might have to adjust their seat closer and then move their seat up in order to have the correct knee position in order to be able to comfortably touch these handlebars. Let's quickly go ahead and look over at the upgraded tracker next. So you've been hearing me talk about this upgraded tracker on the MYX II. Well, it's located right here behind the pedal on the left, or on the crank arm here. Now, this was probably the hardest thing when I actually set up the bike, was to try to get this part off in order just to activate the battery. But then once it's on, it's good for 1,000 hours before you actually have to get it replaced, which is really awesome. All right, let's go ahead and focus on the monitor and show you what this podcast is all about. So what we're looking at here is the actual Openfit application on the 21.5-inch monitor. Now, what I really enjoy about this application is the fact that every time I get on, it gives me an activation code that I just have to go to a website and plug it in, and instantly I'm into my account. In comparison to Beachbody on Demand with the BODi application, where I have to enter in my username and password each time, it just takes a little bit longer compared to just doing this easy activation code. Now, I love how the navigation on this application is really easy. You can see, like it says over here, it's time to recalibrate. I need to take that heart rate test again because I've been doing Beachbody a little bit more lately. So on this application, it's telling me, hey, we need to know where your levels are. So I really enjoy that it keeps me in touch there as far as what I'm doing. As you can see, there's a lot of different classes that they're offering. This dashboard, the schedule shows you, what's coming up for today if you are taking a live class. There's a ride section, which has all the different cycling classes that you can take. Cross training is going to show you what you'd like to, different types of classes that you can take. A lot of them have, it's a component with the bike, so it's a ride and strength, which is an interesting breakout. It's different than like the Peloton app, where it has mostly just all the programs. It doesn't just pull this one directly into it like it does here. And then here are the other programs that you can take on the bike. Personally, I love Extend Bar. That's a really fun one if you haven't taken it before. Highly recommend it. A little side note there. But they have a wide range of class options. And then here's your workout as far as or your formats. So this is the workouts portion, but you can go to recover, relax, and meditate. This media and news is one of my favorite sections. After I get done with a ride and I'm like, I just need a little bit longer of a cool down. I love coming into this media news portion on the Openfit app and getting into this mat chat. They have really unique categories and discussions, like topics that they're talking about. So I highly recommend looking at this one. Now let's go ahead and talk about Beachbody and the BODi app. Now, I will be honest, I have recently discontinued that one and I'm just doing Openfit for now because they're running both of them at the same time is a little pricey. So Openfit by itself is $39.99 a month. And then if you want to do the BODi app, then that's going to be, you have to pay $100 a month. Or sorry, $100 a year, not a month, to be like a member of Beachbody on Demand. And then, in addition to that, then you have the monthly membership of BODi, which is just under $20 a month. So having both apps at the same time could be quite expensive. Here's a little inside tip: if you do want to try out, especially like the BODi app, for a little bit longer than the 7 days, if you call customer service, oftentimes they'll give you 2 weeks to try it out, which is very helpful. So a little inside tip for you. But overall, I really enjoyed both of these, both Beachbody or both the BODi and Openfit. Openfit is trying to start doing the classes the live classes, but they're just kind of in like the first stages of it. They're in the beta testing. So a lot of times you're watching like other people, especially if you're doing like a strength class or something like that, you're watching videos of other instructors doing the moves while the instructor that's actually teaching the class is giving you safety cues, but they're not participating with you, which is a little bit different compared to Beachbody, where they are they're riding their bike and they're giving those safety cues and they're engaging with those people that are in their class in real time while they're still doing it with them. I really did like the podcast version. I thought that most of the instructors did an amazing job of encouraging their students and really getting them to be staying focused on the ride and really remaining positive. I will say there was one instructor in particular, I won't name any names, but in a couple classes, she took the time to call out customers or clients instead of kind of raise them up, like for grabbing their cell phone or doing things like that, rather than providing that positive community that the instructors obviously have worked really hard to create. But depending on whatever one you go with, whatever Openfit or BODi, they're both excellent. So I highly recommend you trying them out and seeing which one works best for you. All right, one more final thing when we're talking about the MYX II. You might be wondering, well, is this the bike for me? So if you are a rider that wants to increase your fitness level, wants to stay in shape, likes a lot of versatility, then I recommend this bike. There's a lot to offer. Personally, I normally, or for quite a while, I've ridden the Bowflex C6 and I've done the Peloton app with it. Now, I've enjoyed that combination. It's worked really well for me. But I will say this bike offers more as far as the platform. I really enjoy all the different types of classes I can take and the different kinds of topics and the versatility. So if you also are into using your heart rate training, which I think is a really useful tool that's not utilized enough in fitness, the MYX II is definitely for you. So let us know what you think.